the three of us could talk a little bit about the moment to moment presence that was kind of the headline of this meeting, because maybe that will spur some specific questions. But I can tell you just briefly from my perspective, being a focusing oriented therapist and someone who works with dreams and kind of the imaginal realm, I can say that one of the most important things in being a moment to moment, presence for your whoever you're with, is to set aside any of your own expectations, preconceptions, ideas about how the session should go. It's really, I think it takes some time, in particular if our training is to have a plan, to actually sit back and let the process unfold. And I really like letting the imagination kind of run the show, because when I'm in a realm where I'm surprised and the person I'm with is actually surprised by the material that comes, then it's usually something new. And otherwise we kind of go around the same circles. And I know probably for all therapists here have had that experience where your clients will come and sit down and tell a version of the same story over and over again. And the idea of the moment to moment presence is to allow something new to unfold. And part of it, I think, is when we bring just this attitude of expectation that something's going to arise that surprises us, or that we have no idea what's going to happen next, it really creates wide open space. And so those are my initial thoughts about the topic at hand.
Mm-hmm. I love that, Leslie. And when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about Janlen's beautiful primacy of human presence. And what you're talking about is exactly a piece of that, right? Where he talks about being able to put all those preconceived ideas and concepts and God knows how much kind of pathologizing stuff we're taught, and put it beside us, and just to be fresh with this other person and be able to be there. And then also to be able to put aside as much as we can what's happening inside us in the moment, just to clear some space so that we can actually really be there and listen to our client. And I think this is very unusual in psychotherapy, very unusual. And it's a real deep skill to be able to really be with another person in that kind of way.
How I see that thing about moment by moment experience, I think it's a given that just all experiential therapies value moment by moment experience. And the question is not whether or not we do it or want to do it, but how we do it, how we have a vehicle, to translate that intention into something that is real and is the lifeblood of the work we do. So, very often people who are not, trained in something that helps you specifically find moment by moment, take it as something that's it's a should. I should pay attention to moment by moment experience, and it doesn't work. People who are trained in experiential therapies, for instance, somatic experiencing, have something to direct their attention to. So if you're doing somatic experiencing, you're going to pay attention to the body. You really observe moment by moment reactions in the client's body. And you also do tracking on your own. And so that goes a long way toward being moment by moment. Okay. And so like all experiential therapies, like somatic experiencing, we have a tool that's going to make it possible to translate, the intention into something that's going to be a very practical reality that's going to fuel the process of therapy. Now, in addition to, what experiential therapies do in general, what we do in focusing is we have the concept of the felt sense. And we're trained, and we train our clients to follow the felt sense, and it becomes second nature. So it's not just something, when we talk about tracking, for instance, it's not just about tracking mechanically. Oh, I'm feeling that, say, my shoulders are tighter, or, and it's going to be very good. I personally very much believe in paying attention to body sensations and body experience. But we have something larger. There is a thread of that notion of felt sense that is turning these little isolated observations about what's happening to the body into something that is very alive and that describes, gives you a handle on where you are moment by moment, whether you're the client or whether you're the therapist, but also something that is going to carry forward, to use an expression that we use in focusing, something that is constantly developing, and that we can take this energy and fashion it. And so this is where we go. And the being attentive moment by moment is essentially something that is the flavor of what it's like to be a focusing oriented therapist, and of what it's like to be a client in a focusing therapy session. So there is this very alive force that we're in touch with moment by moment, and that has inherently a healing quality.